President Trump made history this week during his second trip to China, the first of his second term. The commander-in-chief met with President Xi Jinping for a bilateral meeting for more than 2 hours. We all know Joe Biden would have fallen asleep by the 30-minute mark. The White House said the meeting went well, and the two sides discussed economic opportunities and increasing Chinese purchases of American agricultural products. President Trump says China is committed to buying 200 jets from Boeing. It was also agreed upon that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon and that the Strait of Hormuz must remain open. Later on, the two leaders gathered for a state banquet where President Trump toasted the Chinese people.
The American and Chinese people share much in common. We value hard work. We value courage and achievement. We love our families and we love our countries. Together, we have the chance to draw on these values to create a future of greater prosperity, cooperation, and happiness, and peace for our children. We love our children. This region and the world, it's a special world with the two of us united and together.
Reports say the meeting between the two leaders did feature some harsh words from Xi, as he warned that if the Taiwan issue were handled poorly, it could lead to conflict and an extremely dangerous situation. Jason, how are you analyzing this trip so far?
So if I were advising the president, I don't think he wants my advice.
I don't know, let's call him.
Yeah.
He's in China.
And he's also very much known to fall asleep during meetings. But I will say, I would have told him now is not the time to go to China. Like, wait until you've resolved what's going on in Iran, or at least you're in a stronger position. That way you would be in a stronger negotiating position with the Chinese. Right now, he seems like he's a little bit weak, and that's why Xi is talking tough. Xi is saying, look, if you have anything to do with Taiwan, this is going to be, basically saying it's going to be worse for you than what you're getting in Iran. Trump got no concessions on trade. We're hearing about $1 trillion of investment coming into the country from China. And I think that's a bad thing for our national security. I think that's a bad thing. We don't need China to have more control over our economy. So I think that whoever is advising him is not really doing a good job.
I think the important point too is that China has its own issues as well, and that's not obviously being talked about because a lot of these journalists unfortunately went over to China, so they're restricted, they feel, in what they can say. They have issues with their birth rate. I mean, China still has $12 trillion less of a GDP than we do. There's been dissent in the military ranks. They have entire towns that are ghost towns because it's high-rises that no one can live in now. So they definitely have a number of issues as well. And yes, while they may have reserves from oil with Iran and they may still get there by freight, it also is eventually going to catch up to them as well.
Well, and I will say the China expert Gordon Chang, who's also on the CPAC board, mentioned that China's in an inferior position. They're having a failing economy. There's a lot of pressure on China. And I do think that with President Trump going now at this moment was critical, because we did see the fact that there was this conversation that they agreed that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon. And we also, they also talked about the rare earth mineral export controls. That's critical because the U.S. needs to have a lot more influence in that space because China controls so much of the rare earth minerals. As President Trump toasted the Chinese leadership, he made headlines by extending a very special invitation to President Xi.
Thank you again, President Xi, for this beautiful welcome. And tonight it is my honor to extend an invitation to you and Madam Peng to visit us at the White House this September 24th, and we look forward to it.
I got to tell you, Tim, this almost makes me a little sick to my stomach because, first of all, like that Chinese leader, he is horrific. He is a human rights abuser. I think that they do everything they can to destroy America from within. So that's hard for me to handle. But we do have to have these diplomatic relations. How are you viewing this trip so far?
Look, I think China needs this trip more than the U.S. needs this trip. Absolutely. Curtis is right when he says their economy is down. They continue to pump stimulus checks into, not checks, but basically different kinds of payments to the people. And what do? Do they spend it? No, they save it because they are not confident in the economy right now. So China has to do something, and they are being broken by the blockade. They are being broken by what's going on in Iran right now.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.